Innovation has always been a buzzword in the business world, and that is no different today. We have big topics like 10xing your revenue and AI revolution, whatever. Look at how this person absolutely, uh, whatever, right? We got people that we've made absolute celebrities like Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, uh, Jeff Bezos, who else? These big players who did revolutionize the way that we shop and interact with technology, interact with one another. So it definitely exists and it's a big thing, but I feel like a lot of people shy away from innovation because that's their anchor. They think, well, to be innovative, I have to literally change the way human beings do human being, right? But that's not the case. As average business people, I'm assuming that you're average. I'm average. And if you're on this video, I mean, chances are you're watching this because you're also just, your average business person, which nothing wrong with that. We need to focus on little I. There's big I where it's like your apples and Nvidias and, whatever, right? But, little I is stuff like incremental growth, making your management a little more efficient. Small things like that, in psychology, or at least creative psychology, a class that I took, we talked a lot about big C and little c, right? We have Da Vinci and Michelangelo and like these huge players inside of like art and whatever, right? But there's little c, like finding a homemade recipe to like clean out, I don't know, scribbles. I don't fucking know. Or finding a way of communicating with your roommates a little bit better to get chores done, right? These are creative things and these are small wins. And in business, it's very important to focus on small wins. People have these big, big goals of like, okay, I want to get to 1 million annual revenue, right? It's like, okay, well, to get there, let's try to get 1,000, in a year. Let's try to get 1,000 a year in consecutive years. Let's try month by month to at least have 5 customers, right? These small little goals that slowly get to where you're going. And in order to get small wins, we need small innovations. Maybe there's a different way that you can talk to your customers or an avenue that you haven't really tried out before. Maybe you've always avoided LinkedIn, but now you find a way of being on LinkedIn without feeling like you're selling your soul. I like this one illustration where a teacher was showing these kids like, making goals and stuff, right? And he had like a big sticker. I don't fucking know. There was like different steps, right? And he said, okay, your end goal is to get to this step over here. And it makes sense. You just hop, 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 and boom, right? So he dragged away all the other steps, and it was just where you were and the big step over there. He's like, okay, if I told you go jump to that one, like you'd kind of be like, whatever, right? It'd be stressful. It's better to have little wins. And I remember going into the comments, and someone was like, actually, uh, if that kid jumps on the table, yeah, and then he takes like, bro, what? Missing the whole point. People were saying like, yeah, I get what he's saying, but if you were really, tapped in, you'd be able to use your surrounding. It's like, okay, like we're losing the plot here. And you can kind of see people's thought patterns just from an exercise like that. Something as simple as, okay, instead of jumping from here all the way to that last step, we should have small steps on the way. And people are like, actually, I could do acrobatics and get to that step anyways. And it's like, okay, well, you clearly are the type of person who doesn't make small goals. You think that to get to that big goal, you just have to do something really, really fancy, right? If I want a really successful business that gets 1 million annual, I keep using this number. Let's just say that's a good number, right? Well, then I probably just need to like close like 1,000 customers in this 1 year. And it's like, I mean, if you could do it, more power to you. But it's like, why put that stress when it's like you could make smaller goals, and be more fulfilled along the way, right? The same with video games. They don't give you the final boss after 2 levels, right? They give you small wins so you stay and you keep working and you keep grinding, since you guys like that word, right? And you need those small wins, or else you would drop the game because it's too hard. For a lot of business people, they try to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to, make this incredible tool that people are going to use to do whatever, whatever. And they want these big tech ideas. And it makes sense, right? A lot of investors flock towards big ideas that have to revolutionize something and change this market or that market. Rock stars. Everybody wants to invest in the new thing that will be Apple or OpenAI or whatever, right? And, you know, I think what I'm learning now, as I go on my business journey, is that the business ventures that are less sexy are low key really nice, right? You don't need to revolutionize tech. If you have a knack for, if you have a good lumber source and you can get lumber from A to B, and you can find a few customers that like you, and you have good customer service, and the supply chain is nice. It's, you can promise that be at a certain time and you get it at that certain time, and maybe your price is good too. That's a great business. You know what I mean? It's not changing the way that this country runs, but you're helping someone. And at the end of the day, a business just exists to help someone do something better, cheaper, faster, you name it, right? I heard this from someone else, but instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, study people who are making bikes. If you want to make motorcycles eventually, try making a skateboard. See how wheels work, see how motion and transportation works, and slowly build your way there. But to go from nothing to I'm going to make a motorbike and engine and wheel, and it's too much. Now, of course, this is an analogy, but understand what I'm trying to say. Innovation is a muscle. And like anybody who goes to the gym will tell you, you do not start on a plate the second you get into the gym and you're trying to do, uh, what? Bench. Yeah. You don't get into the gym and immediately try benching 45s, right? Like, you get in, and if it's your first time, you start with a bar. Then maybe you'll put a 10 and maybe a 25 and stuff like that. And you'll move up. And you don't move up just one after the other. Oh, I can do one, I can do the next one, right? You do a few reps, and when it's too comfortable, you then go to the next uncomfortable thing, right? It's the same with innovation. Start very, very small. Try innovating just in your normal life. How can you find an innovative way of waking up on time every single day, at the same time every day? How can you innovate your life in a way that makes it more efficient to actually get 3 meals in the day, right? And the list goes on and on and on. And then you can start looking at what's the most effective way of reaching my customer? What's the most effective way of building out the solution for them? What's the most effective way of managing my team? And if I don't have a team, how am I going to get to a point where I hire my first customer? These are small goals. And actually, these are huge goals. These are very monumental moments in a business person's life. So don't dumb it down. Don't water it down. Don't feel like those are small things. Those are huge. And when you have those little wins, it's only a matter of time before you get to those big ones. So stop stressing over these big goals, big innovations, 10x this, 100 million that, 1 billion whatever, right? Business is already scary as it is.